Okay, so today we're going to be working on how to set up your platform to match what we have as far as the Robot C Cortex 2.0. The default is for something completely different. You're going to be set up for Vex IQ by default, and we don't want to have that. So um, Vex IQ is actually the plastic Vex, and I don't know if anybody's ever seen that before. They have Vex plastic pieces. We're using the metal, and we have the 2.0 Cortex. So today, the first thing we're going to do is notice that there are title bar up across the top. We have File, Edit, View, Robot, Window, and Help. If you ever need help and you don't have the ability to get the help that you need as fast as you need it, you can open up the Help or press F1 and it'll take you to a help desk kind of thing so you can type in what you need and everything will be in there and you can get more resources if you need it. So we're going to go back to the word robot. So if you could click kind of hang out where robot is. Robot has a bunch of different options for you, but we're going to be noticing the platform type. Platform type is the Cortex. It's called platform on here, but it's actually, we're setting up the Cortex to match our language should match the Cortex's language. Right now, it's not set up for the right language. Okay, so next thing we're going to do is go over to Vex Robotics. You'll notice by default, it does show up Vex IQ. Again, we're using Vex 2.0 Cortex, so we need to go up to the Vex 2.0 Cortex and click it. We're going to repeat the same step again. And I want you to notice what changed. So I'm going to go back down, click on Robot, go back down to Platform Type, go over to Vex Robotics. It is checked on the 2.0 Cortex, but what do you notice underneath the word robotics? Natural language PLTW. Since you are in a Project Lead the Way classroom, seems kind of fitting that we would use the PLTW natural language. So we're going to click on natural language PLTW and we will make sure that that is on every single time. You have now changed the defaults. Every time you log in, it should automatically have the platform type natural language PLTW. If it changes, let's say that the computer goes down, we have to reinstall everything and the computer isn't working, it will naturally go back to the Vex IQ. You may have to change this again, but the likelihood is very, very slim that you'll have to change it. So natural language PLTW is what we're going to be using. Next thing we're going to do is look at what what our programs are going to look like. So let's go ahead and open up a sample program. So we're going to go to File, Open Sample Program. And if you are stuck still somewhere in there, if you want to make sure that it says Sample Programs up here and Vex 2, it should be those two things should be up there. If you need to, you can click on the Vex 2 and it'll take you back out of wherever you're at. You should see advanced basic movement, bumper and limit switch, and all that information there. You notice we go down, what do you see? PLTW natural language. We are going to be using the PLT natural language, so the programs that we're going to be using are also set up PLTW natural language. So double click on that folder. And the first thing we're going to use is movement. So double click on movement. Moving forward and backwards. That is a simple program. Click on moving forward and backward. Very basic program. Up here we have our pseudocode, Robot C for beginners, moving forward and backward. It does give us our basic understanding. Robot type. We will not be using the RecBot. I know it says that. We are actually not going to be using the RecBot at all, but it doesn't hurt that it's sitting there right now. Now, step 2, we're going to go to motor and sensor setup. It is actually one of the bigger boxes. It's the 5th box over. It says motor and sensor setup. It has a picture of a little wheel and a sensor. It looks more like a speaker. You're going to click on that and it's going to bring up a giant box. It says motor and sensor setup. You'll notice that the image is completely blank because we have not set up what we want our robot to look like. So under standard models, which is the first tab, we're going to click on select configuration. And if you remember, you're in GTT, right? Gateway to Technology. We're going to click on the GTT testbed. Does that look familiar? It should. Now Vex, your test bed does not have a claw right now. You are going to be allowed to program the claw at any point. But for right now, I took them off because the wires break really easily. The little prongs, they come off and then we have to rewire them. And I don't want anybody to have to do that because of an accident. But we want to make sure that the claws kind of stay away until you're ready to use them. And then you'll put them back when you're done. So GTT testbed, I want you to pay attention to the sensor ports and the motor ports over here on the side. Sensor ports, we have line follower, we have potentiometer, we have limit switch, bump switch, green LED. In our motors, we have claw motor, we have right motor, and we have left motor. You'll notice that they have actually oriented, like turned the test bed so that you can see the cortex kind of facing you. This would be the left motor and this would be the right motor. And I know we talked about it does depend on which way you have your test bed rotated towards you, but this is the default. So you can see that this is the left and this is the right. Now, right here, we have line follower. Does anyone know what the line follower looks like? Good. There is a red box with a little black screen that's on there. That is your line follower. And you'll actually see on this side it says line tracker. Some of you might have more than one to start off with. That's okay. You're just going to make sure you focus on one for now. And you're going to plug that into your sensor port, which is called analog 1. Now, if you look at your cortex, analog 1 is right about in this area. It's about the top, or well, the bottom in this case. The very last one is called analog. There's two sections. There's motor on the left and digital and analog on the right of the cortex. The sensors are also split into two sections. We have analog and digital. Digital is going to be our on and off. Digital does not have a whole lot of information. On, off, that's it. Line follower is going to have a lot of different options. Think about being able to see the variance in light. When the sun comes up during the day, the light changes, and so we have more light during noon typically, and we have less light in the morning. So that line tracker would actually pick up different amounts of light even in our classroom. So being able to understand that that could change has a lot of different values to it. Line follower numbers could range from very small of a 0 all the way up into, I want to say, thousands. So it does change. Potentiometer also has a lot of options. What would you say the potentiometer looks like? If you were to look at it on your test bed, what does it look like? It's the gear. The gear is your potentiometer. We talked about how some people have light switches that you can turn up and it makes it brighter, and you can turn it down, it makes it darker. That's the potentiometer. The potentiometer should stop when it gets low, and it should stop when it gets high. Some of them are broken, and it will continue to go on forever, and it's a pain. It is not easy because then you go down to 0 and then all the way jump up into the thousands. So it is a pain if your potentiometer is broke. Be careful not to turn it down too far. Once it stops, you stop. If you break the tab, there's a little plastic tab in there, it will just keep going and it will be broken forever. So make sure you're careful. This stuff is all plastic and metal, and some of the more important pieces should be metal and they're plastic. So just be careful with it. Now, on the other hand, we have digital 1, digital 2, and digital 12. I know it looks like DGT11, but that is an L, so it's DGTL1. That is our bump switch. The bump switch is the metal button. And the reason you'll know that is because there's a metal bar that's coming off of it. That is your limit switch. Those are really handy because if you put them on the front of your robot, if it hits something, you can make it stop or go or turn or do whatever it is. The vacuum cleaners, the iRobot, has those kind of switches in there. So when it bumps into the wall, it stops, it backs up, and it turns. Bump switch, same concept, same principle. This one has looks almost like a mushroom top on it. It is the plastic bump switch. There's a limit switch is metal. The plastic is the bump switch. There are two different ones. They work the same way. You can use it to push, you can use it to release, or you could use it to just bump, and it'll do 3 different actions with just one button. You can have 3 different things happen. The green LED will go down into digital 12. And then we also have our, like I said, our claw motor will go in port 1. You can also put that in port 4 if you want to have the longer cord with the motor controller on it. I recommend doing that. It's not required, but it does make things a little bit easier. Good thing is you just use the word claw motor. It doesn't matter where it is. It will be correct. Right motor, again, port 2, left motor, port 3. Now, when we click over to motors, and I said that it might not be a bad idea to put your claw motor in port 4, you can actually grab it, drag it down to port 4. I can turn port 1 off, and I can turn port 4 on. So it does have a nice little option for you. You just grab the word, drag it, put it into a new place. Now my left motor is in 3, my right motor is in 2, and my claw motor is in 4, and everything is on in the right place. If you go to the next tab, Vex 2.0 analog sensors, you'll see line follower and potentiometer. If you don't like writing out the word potentiometer, if you wanted to change the name to something smaller, wheel, or something easier for you to understand, that's okay. This is where you would change it. This sensor type would still be potentiometer, but the wording that you use would be smaller. Last tab is Vex Cortex digital sensors. Again, this is where we have our limit switch, our bump switch, and our Vex LED. If you hit apply and hit OK, you'll notice how it set all of our information up at the top. If you did not move your sensor, it will only just say something along the lines of PLTW testbed or GTT testbed. If you did change any of the sensors, it will line them all up and you'll have the whole entire information in red and blue up at the top. Next, if you look down here, we have the robot going forward, waiting, stopping, waiting, backwards, waiting, stop, and waiting. That is going to be our program. If you hit compile program, it should understand, the computer should take that program, check to make sure that it works, that it's going to function correctly. If it has errors, if I put a space in between here and I compile, you'll see that it gives me an error. It's telling me that they found some things that were wrong. So I'll go ahead and take that back out, compile the program, and it fixed it, and it's all good. I download that to the robot after I plug it in. Make sure that it's plugged in first. Compile, download to robots. Make sure that your robot is on. I hit the start button, it will play, it will go forward, then it will go backwards, and then it will stop. All right, hope this helped you, and have a great day.